Hello, you're welcome to today's session. Hello, everyone. My name is Tolulope Dayo Halbert, and it's 7 p.m. I've been waiting for us, like I have been waiting for this session because the topic is going to be a mind blowing one, right? And we have journeyed for about 2 weeks now, and this is the third week already, right? And we are on the journey of understanding child psychology, how a child reasons, how what is expected of a child, what you expect when it comes to their behavior, their response, their tendencies, right? And I'm super excited that you have joined me again today. On the first week, we spoke about the human tendencies, and the second week, we spoke about helping a child journey easily from obedience to self discipline. And here we are today decoding the planes of development in Montessori. Now, the stages of development is in every child, right? But we are coming from the understanding of the founder of the Montessori methodology, and that is Maria Montessori. And we are so grateful to God for her being a gift in our lives. And through I'm only coming from this perspective so that my explaining this to you does not mean it's just um for a particular set of children. It's for every child, but we are coming, or better still, we are using the Montessori principles to understand these children as and also help to support their development. So my name is Tolulope Dayo Halbert, and I'm super excited to be here today. If you have not told somebody about this training, I want you to do well to tell somebody about it, because I'm ready for you today to dish out every knowledge that you need to make parenting, to make teaching stress free. Now, let's come from this angle. Education is not merely the transition of knowledge, right? It is a journey that follows the natural unfolding of human potential, right? So, Dr. Maria Montessori, through her keen observation, very intentional observation, and groundbreaking work with children, she discovered that human development occur in distinctive stages, and each with its own unique need, right? Drives and capability. She calls these the four planes of development. So I don't want you to view children as just miniature adults. Children needs to be controlled. Children are just creatures that want to frustrate our lives. They are not that. Rather, I want you to recognize them as people who need help. Understand that every phase of growth from birth to maturity requires a different approach, a different environment, a different kind of support. So each plane marks a powerful transformation. And this transformation is not just physically, it also includes the cognitive development, the emotional, as well as the social. That's what makes human. That's what makes them an holistic individual. I mean, a holistic individual. So today I'm going to be helping you decode this phase and giving you everything you need to support children at these phases or these planes or these stages. And know this, that if you understand this plane, you will be doing yourself a whole world of good. And understanding this plane helps you as an adult, as a teacher, as a parent to meet children where they are, to support them. I'm not conditionally this time, support them intentionally and from a place of understanding, right? Support them in such a way that you can align with their need, as well as help you to prepare the environment that fosters their independence, that fosters curiosity, critical thinking, as well as self construction. So, in this session, I will teach you to decode the planes of development and to uncover how each phase, right, influences learning, influences identity formation. Whether you are a parent or a teacher or a guide, this knowledge will transform you, and it will help you to view growth in a particular way and you support it accordingly. So please, I want you to put your mind to learning and make sure you are 20, you are 100% here, right? So thank you once again for joining me. And sometimes, or one way or the other, as an adult or as a teacher, if you've not told somebody about this session, please do well to tell somebody about it. Yeah, I'm also sharing. Do well to tell somebody about it because you will be changing the life of somebody. You will be changing the life of somebody just immediately. All right. So you might wonder why a toddler is quite clinky, or why your 8-year-old argues a lot. Right? If you can see me, I want to say hi. Yeah. So you wonder why your sweet 16 now avoids that your sweet little baby girl of that time now avoids eye contact. They are on a journey. They are in a stage of development that you need to understand. I want to make sure that this live session is something that you can view. It's not something that is sticking at the point. Yeah. So okay. So let's continue. All right. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So Dr. Maria Montessori taught us that development is not random, right? It follows a predictable um, path. So it is divided into 4 planes, and each of these planes lasting 6 years. So when we understand this, we understand and we unlock the power to guide the children. We unlock the power to guide the children. And you have to understand training them for life. So if you understand this, you will be able to know what to do. So now let's dive into the 4 planes of development. I said each of them have 6 years apart. So the first plane of development is the a plane I call the absorbent mind stage. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tell somebody about this session, and it's going to be one that you will be grateful to be here. It's going to be one that you will be grateful for because I'm going to be dishing out a lot and a lot of information. Now, this first plane is called the absorbent mind phase, right? Where the children build their entire foundation, their language, their movement, their habits, their personality, their emotion. They get to learn how to regulate themselves. Children of this first plane have what we call sensitive period, and this is a window of intense focus where you have a child focusing on a particular skill, being able to being able to navigate himself through that particular skill, because you see it visibly when they keep repeating that particular behavior or repeating that particular action. Oh, this child is in this sensitive period for, could it be language? That's when you see them talk a lot. They want to respond to everything. They want to say this correct or not correct. That they are in the sensitive period for language. You see children wanting order. They want, if you don't follow a particular order, they begin to throw tantrums. They begin to just make the environment seem toxic because you are not just supporting that urge for internal order. This is the stage when children develop movement, the stage when children want to develop and understand social behavior, as well as they want to socialize as well as develop their senses. So, children of this stage, as adults, you need to know how to support them through this. And this session will give you clarity, it's going to give you peace, and it's going to give you practical tools that you will need. I will start with this quote by Maria Montessori. She said that the child is both the hope and the promise of mankind. So for continuity in life, in the journey of man, the child is formed. And you find out that every stage depicts a journey. Every stage depicts a level. Every stage depicts what they need. They come with their own baggage. They come with their own necessity. So if you as an adult don't understand this, you are just going to be stressing yourself. So how do you handle a 2-year-old who begins to say no, who begins to throw tantrum? This is not time for you to overreact. This is not time for you to force your way. You want to always keep them sitting down. As a teacher, this it's not expected of you to keep a 0 to 6 year old child on a seat. They are not regulating their behavior by sitting down. They are not developing their senses by sitting down. You are not helping them develop their fine and gross motor skills by sitting down. You're not helping them build their personality by just sitting down. They want to relate, they want to discover, they want to learn to do things for themselves. They want to know how to act, they want to know how to respond, right? Even though they don't know how, their limit to at some point, but your routines will help them to barricade and teach them with time to understand their limits. So this is not time for you to force children. This is time for you to understand that the child needs an environment that is beautiful, that is order, and that is predictable. And you need to respect their need of teach me how to do it myself. I want to do it myself. Avoid rushing. At this stage, their security blanket is routine. Please always keep routine, right? Keep routine. So the first stage or the first plane is the 0 to 6 plane, and children at this stage needs more of your modeling than your control. They need more of your talking about the situation. They need more of your understanding them by not shouting, by understanding they need limits. They need to understand how things are done and not just feeling that they are miniature adults, that they understand you and then the next thing you start eating them. Pause. Children of this stage don't need that. Now let's go to the second stage. I'll call that a stage we call the reasoning mind stage or the childhood stage. On the second plane, you have children between 6 to 12. Remember I said the difference between this stage is 6 years. At this stage, children move from physical to a more intellectual form, right? Children move from physical to a more intellectual form. This is the time when they start asking you why am I like this? Why is the sky blue? Mommy, okay, let me bring it to something that just happened to me today, right? Today we saw a movie. I saw a movie with my kids, and this movie involved some children being adopted. And guess there are two of them who watched it, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, right? And remember I said that this 6-year-old to from 6-year-old to 12 years is a stage of reasoning. And then after the movie, my 6-year-old, after a while, I wasn't really expecting that question. She just walked up to me and said, Mommy, what's the meaning of adoption? And then I explained what adoption is. And I think I wanted to just guess the next question. Am I adopted? Can you see? This is a stage of reasoning. This is a stage when they want to ask you why things. Why do you want me to go? Why do you want me to eat this? Why do you want me to wear this? Why do you want me to do this? They are not asking you because they don't want to do it. They just want you to teach them what to do. They just want to know why. When you keep these children don't grow except to teach them how to do things. So this is not a point where you start forcing yours on them like our parents in Africa. If you are in Africa, yeah, you understand that parents are usually forceful, right? And I remember growing up, if I asked so much question, my parents believe that if you ask so much question, you're going to be too forward when you grow up, and because of that, they want to shut you up. They just want keep you quiet. But our esteem was on the line. Our confidence level was on the line. I remember I couldn't even stand before a crowd because I was always shut up. So, if you do that to children, you are not going to strengthen their ability for critical thinking. You're not going to develop the ability to reason out of the box. But when you answer their questions, they know what the answer is. They can engage in a purposeful and meaningful, interaction. They have confidence when it comes to relating with others. They know that their questions will always be asked. I've had a situation where I taught a child how to play a recorder. We spoke about the make of the recorder. And then the next thing, the child started asking me about things in the class. And before you know, the next question I got was, how were we made? What is our body made from? You know, if, for example, I just shut the children up, they won't be able to go far when it comes to questions. And children who don't ask questions become very limited children, right? So this stage is a time when they thrive on big ideas. They want to hear about the story of the universe. They want to know about biology. They want to know how a seed becomes a seedling and then becomes a plant. I want you to understand that this is when imagination becomes their own tool of learning. So this is not the stage for you to shut them up. So for you as an adult, how to support them is to teach them through storytelling. Ask questions like, what do you think? More than you must go and sit down. You ask too much question. What do you think? Oh, I'm going to pour this now. What do you think might happen? That's critical thinking coming into play. Oh, we're going to use two things now, but we need four pairs for this. How many do you think we're going to use? All of this builds critical thinking. This is the time when they also want you to train their moral life, right? So give responsibility in team or group projects, involve them in leadership, teach them the process of becoming leaders. Especially children of this stage are the children in grade 1, 2, 3, 4 up until grade 6. This is the stage where you teach them leadership. You train them on taking responsibility, right? On understanding we make mistakes and how to navigate through mistakes. You teach them how to cope with peer socialization. So this is the stage when they need you more than you shutting them up, right? So don't I want you to understand that they would definitely question your rules. I told you this is the stage where they question everything. It's normal, it's not disrespectful. Why they are doing this is because they want to develop their internal order. So I want you to understand that when children ask you questions, answer their questions. And answering their questions, make them involved in their own learning. Let learning for children of this age as a teacher be more of a self-directed learning. Ask them question, what would happen? What do you think would happen? What do you think we have to do this? What do you think is the next step, right? And if they ask you questions, please do well to take them through the process. Don't just fix things for them, take them through the process, right? You are doing them a whole world of good. Let's go to the third plane, and that is a stage we call the social self stage, right? Or you can call it the puberty stage, right? This is the stage between 12 to 18. Now, guess what? Things get really interesting at this stage. Children have now gotten to the stage of adolescence. Children now have uncertainty. Children now have emotional issues, hormonal issues. They are growing their body parts. They are trying to stabilize. There's a lot of hero worship. There's a lot of peer pressure. Their emotional life is just not stable. That is the reason why if you don't want stress at this stage, then you must be very intentional right from the first two stages I mentioned earlier. Teach them to self regulate. help them to understand the different kind of emotions, help them to understand how to regulate and navigate through these emotions, help them to understand this, because when they get to this stage they are just going to burst. Many parents always find it difficult to handle children between this age. Many teachers also find it so difficult to handle children between these ages. I have to be very sincere with you. Why? Because a lot of things have been left unconsidered while they were younger, right? So the children at this stage start asking questions like, who am I? Where do I belong? What's my purpose? They naturally would not ask you, especially if you are the one that always controls rather than connect. They will not naturally ask you as a teacher or as a parent, right? But in their self, a lot of things are going on. They want freedom, but they also want security. So at this stage, they don't really know what they want. They want space. And also they want connection. So they are like, gosh, how do they navigate? So this is not the stage for you to start controlling your child. This is the stage when you coach them. So if you have done your job between 0 to 12, you will not find it difficult at this stage, right? So as an adult, for people, for it as a teacher or a parent working with children of this stage, have a stable presence. Yeah. They may shout at you, they may slam the door, they don't know, just understand that they're going through a lot, right? They may want you to push you, they want to push you away, they want to test your limit. You don't have to react to everything. Listen more than talk. As in, talk less, just talk less. Kind of be more intentional. Make your love not to be something that they have to earn. Make it unconditional at this stage if you want to work with them, right? Help them channel their energy also. All right. This is the stage where you help them channel their energy towards service. This is the stage where serving in the community. If you own your company, let them work with you. Let them get to understand how life works, right? Because they're almost getting to adulthood. Let them understand entrepreneurship. Let them understand projects, bigger projects, more than the ones they were doing before. Bigger projects. This is the time when you tell them to go for community service. Let them serve in the capacity they can. Help them to help them to know how to channel their energies, maybe, or their emotion, or the way they feel towards art. This is the time you teach them journaling, how to right. You teach them how to journal their face, the level they are. Teach them about people, relationship. This is the time when you let them understand that whatever happens is on them, not on you, right? And you do that from a place of love, right? Children of this stage don't just study the world, they want to belong to the world, right? So let's go to the fourth plane. That is the young adults plane, right? This stage, you have the individuals in this stage more matured. You see that development is a journey. It's not something people jump into. So if there is a itching network in the earlier phases, you don't expect the best in the later stage, right? So that is why it is very important for you to understand, as a parent, you have to start early from the foundation. And whatever school you are taking your children to, make sure that it supports their stages, right? Why? So that by the time your child is growing in from nursery to primary to secondary, right? They, or to elementary, depending on the one you use in your country, they are properly staged for this level, right? So children in this fourth stage, or this adolescent phase, have more of self-worth. They kind of are more mature, they are more independent, they are more purposeful. This particularly the final stretch, right? Young adults at this stage are forming self-identity. They are seeking to, they want to add to the world, contribute to the world more meaningfully. So they ask questions like, what do I do with my life, right? What impact can I make? Do I matter? These are people that you find in a university. For as an adult, you know that your control is really limited, right? So it's your job is to be more encouraging, not demanding. Ask questions like, what kind of person do you want to become? And support their journey into independence emotionally and practically. Don't be a parent that fixes everything for them. Don't fix it for them. See, there are a lot of adults today who have entitlement mentality because their parents have practically fixed all for them. And that's why, I don't know, but I like the American society. At 18, you are kicked out of their house. So you know that you have to grow, but you know that as a parent, you have not trained them properly at 18, they probably would not know where next to go. They won't even know how to structure their life because you have not taken them through that journey, right? You don't expect them to be 18 and just turn adults. They really need you to train them properly. So if you see an 18-year-old looking confused, it started from home. It started from what they have gone through. So if you don't want to try to give you issues at this stage, give them the right training. Be there for them in the right way, right? So at this stage, a child doesn't need correction as much as confirmation. What they need more is your voice. Is you telling them that their voice matter, their dream is possible, their struggles are real, right? This is not the time for you to fix it for them. This is the time for you to help them to build maturity. Now, let's talk about how to handle each stage. Now, the first plane was what? If you can remember, type it in the comment section. All right, for time's sake, let me just go the absorbent mind stage. Now, as an adult, what do? You are more of a nurturer. You are more of the preparer of the environment. Remember that the environment your child is introduced to is at this stage is what they become. Like Maria Montessori would say that the child is the father of man. The foundation you give them is the kind of man they will or the woman they will grow up to be. So your environment has to be rich enough, rich with values, rich with words, rich with the right limits and the right freedom, such that they are being built they are being built all holistically and being disciplined at the same time. They are being built holistically and still developing the skill called discipline at the same time. The best form of discipline is usually self-discipline, and you are navigating them. See, if you have not listened to last week's session, I want you to go and listen to it. From obedience to self-discipline, right? So children of this stage need you to support them by creating order, creating routine, and being consistent, and also giving them opportunity to be involved in building their independence, giving them real. Let me tell you something, children of this stage really don't need toys. They need real engagement, real activities. You see, if you give children of this phase toys, at some point they just throw it away. Or even if you give them toys, you will see that they are kind of bringing in everything they've absorbed in the environment into the toys. That's when you start seeing they turn the toy to daddy, or they want to they make the toy to be auntie. I know some of these things you give to them, right? They just want to pour out their mind, what they have learned so far, what they have absorbed so far, experiences they've had so far on those things, and see them relating with them like real things. That's to tell you that a child's call is not just fantasy, he wants reality. So this is not time for you to just leave the children on cartoons. It has even been discovered that exposing a child early to the TV causes autism. So let's beware. Rather engage them in real tasks. You are preparing meal in the kitchen, let them join you. You are doing something in the classroom, give them responsibilities, right? Don't just sit them down like zombies from morning to 5 o'clock or to 3 o'clock, right? Let them go out to play, let them do nature work, let them discover things, right? Children of this stage need it very much, right? So let's go to the second phase. How do you support them? What's your responsibility to children in this second stage, which is the childhood stage, which is the reasoning mind stage? Your job is to be the moral guide. You are the moral guide, right? So you support them by giving them, by using open-ended questions, story-rich teachings, and all of that. Now, when it comes to children in the puberty stage, which is the third stage, the teenage stage, the 12 to 18 stage, your job at this point is to be a coach and a mentor. You see that you are still the same adult, but your responsibility is changing. So this is the point. At this stage is when you help your children develop the right mentors. So not just you cannot mentor them in all areas. And if you are so good, sometimes they will need other people. Children of this stage, basically, they have looked down on you. How do I put it? If you're a parent, they always feel that you can't just give them what they want, right? Because they've seen you finish. That kind of thing, right? If you're in Nigeria, you understand what I'm trying to say. They've seen you, they've seen the totality of you. So, what do you want to tell them? Other than they want you to tell them when they were babies. So, they really, at this point, you see them showing you sign of hero worship. Right. So please strategically place in their lives the right people, the people that can speak to them when you are not there, people that if that thing they cannot tell you, they can tell them, and make sure that it's somebody you trust that can give you the full gist. Do you understand? Or if you are a teacher, be open-minded, because you are not their parents, so they see you more like somebody they can relate with. I used to remember those stages when I was working, those years when I was working with children of this stage. Oh, I used to have a lot of gist, from catching them reading love novels and romance novels to talking about boyfriends, right? I would talk to talking about this is not the point when you become like a lord and master. You are on your own. Oh, if you become like a lord and master, you're going to lose them completely. So this is a stage where you have to be their goons, their girlfriends, like their friends. That is, take your girls on dates, date nights, talk about things, talk about life, talk about responsibility, talk about their self-esteem, talk about who they feel they are, what do they think about life, what's going on in their heart. Many parents just leave children on social media and they're learning a whole lot of things, right? And so many of them, even though, like I said earlier, they don't want to be controlled, yet they need security. So you just have to play smart. You just have to play smart, right? So you have to stay present without controlling, right? So let's go to the last stretch, which is the final stage, is the adult stage, right? Your job at this point, you are more of a partner and a witness. You see, I keep saying it. We parents, we have so many things, and you have to understand that every child, you can have children in the four phases. But if you understand your responsibility, you find parenting very easy. If you are a teacher at any phase, you find teaching very easy, right? So at this point, they need you to offer them more of respect, more of trust, and occasional advice. So when you don't trust your children, you have to fix things for them. You feel that they are irresponsible. You feel they cannot think out of the box. Anytime they need money, you just send pim pim. You don't teach them how to kind of think out of the box. What other things can you do to get money? Not because I cannot give you, right? But because you have to understand that life is in phases. You are now an adult to a very large extent, a young adult. So can you think out of the box, right? And when you do this, you are building more confidence for greater opportunities, right? So understand that these children needs your help from every phase. Let me give us some examples. Your 0 to 6 year old would throw a tantrums. Don't yell. Like I put it down here, your 0 to 6 years would throw a tantrum. This is not time for you to yell. This is time for you to model, offer structure, emotional vocabulary. For example, you're upset, right? Your child is throwing tantrums. Oh, you beating the child, shouting out, what is wrong with you? What do you say? You're upset, right? How can we fix this? What do we do about this, right? This is going to be beautiful for the child because it helps them regulate. It helps them understand how they can relate with you. You have to understand that children at this phase, if you train them properly, they respect you, they respect themselves, and they respect others, right? So you have to understand that. Now, for children between 6 to 12, this is the time when you see them lying. They can lie, maybe because you have built that fear in them earlier, right? So instead of You are a liar. You tell lies. Who taught you how to lie? Is that in the Bible? All liars will go to hellfire. All liars will go. This is not time for that. Can you ask questions like, what made it hard for you to tell the truth? Is it because I will yell? This is the time for you to teach them how to be responsible for their actions, right? So this is very important for children for young ones between 12 to 18, because they're no longer children to me, they're more of teenagers. They can be moody, maybe because of hormonal change. See, hormonal changes causes mood swing. This child is having menstruation and is a girl. Do you know what it is to be on menstruation? And you are there shouting that they didn't do things. We could be having menstrual cramps. Things have changed. And you are there looking for how they have to follow your rules and regulation. Please be patient. You see a child behaving one way in your class. This is not time for them to say, you see, you are never serious. You are just sleeping in class. Could it be that he just had wet dreams last night? Could it be that he's passing through some pains in the lower side? You have to understand that children have changed. So you can ask later, you can ask questions that, what do you need right now? How can I help you? What do you think is causing this? What do you think I need to do for you? When children see that you love them unconditionally, at this stage, see, the love you need to have for them at this stage, just be unconditional like Jesus Christ. Don't be overbearing. Don't love them because you want to respect. Yes, they will slam the door on you at some point. But please, let your love be consistent, because that is when you can get them. So if you don't want to lose your children, work with them with the right understanding. Now, for your 18 to 24 that have been able to regulate themselves to build their personality to an extent, you can ask questions like, what one step can you take, right? Stop fixing it for them. When they are stuck, ask them questions like, how can we fix this? What can we do? What do you think we can do better than you did the other time? Now you are an adult. Can you think, what steps do you think? Can we read books that will support this growth? Can we read books that will support this your dream? Who is your hero, right? You've navigated, okay, at teenage, you now understand your hero. What is it doing differently that makes him to stand out, right? So you have to understand that this is a journey. So helping children at these stages, from these four stages, you have to understand that each stage has hidden treasures, right? So I want to tell you, because of time, I want to quickly show you how you can help them to maximize, and how you can maximize this plane. Now, for children between 0 to 6, be consistent. I've said that over and over. Be consistent. Explore without screen. Use puzzles, real life tasks, build language, read to them, talk about it, build their vocabulary, sing with them, provide for them open ended toys. What I mean by open ended toys, toys that make them think out of the box, toys that when they work with it, they can have so many experiences with it. It could be from that toy, they could be able to build structure, they can learn colors, they can learn sizes, they can learn shapes, they can just one toy. Okay, I don't have some of them here, but I do have some of them here, but I can't get them for you. But maybe over time, if we continue in our teaching, I'm going to show you some of these open-ended toys. Very important thing. So even if you want to get them toys, thoughtful toys, not just toys that are full of fantasy. You will just keep buying toys because they will just keep breaking them and throwing them because it's not meeting their needs. Now, for children between 6 to 12, which is the childhood stage, this is the stage when they want to dive into big ideas. The time they want to dive into history, they ask you questions, they are in moral dilemma, they want you to teach them respect. This is a time when you use group learning, right? Build collaboration, build empathy, build leadership skill, teach them how to learn, not just what to learn. Then for children between 12 to 18, encourage a lot of journaling, right? Encourage a lot of expression, emotional awareness. Don't be the one that keeps talking. Listen. Be more of a listener, because they are saying it. They are saying it. You may think they don't mean it. They are saying what they mean. And when you kind of engage them, you get to know the stage they are. You get to know how much they have learned from their peers. You get to know how you can help them fix the issue. I want you to understand that, right? So let them explore their identity safely as well through clubs. What I mean by club, not club, through school clubs like Red Cross, football club, mathematics club, STEM clubs. You know your child, right? You know their strength over time. So some children, I used to remember a particular child when we're growing up. She happens to be like my baby, but she's an adult now, right? This child could read in the toilet. She could, because of a book, she could be in the toilet for hours reading. At that stage, I haven't even read as much as she had. She had a whole shelf of books, and each time I go into their house, I'm like, Moi, are you kidding me? You've added more to your library. And then she could practically tell the books had about hundreds. And she said, I finished reading all these books that you see here. And I'm like, gosh, this is a child just in she was just in primary school, going to secondary school. And I'm not a parent, but I saw that this is her strength. And I encouraged her to go on the journey of literacy. But those days, if you either become a doctor, being in the art class was really something else. You can't be in the art class. If you are intelligent, they expect that you have to be in science class. As I speak with you, she studied what they wanted her to study, but as I speak to you, she is a narrator, a story narrator. She has a podcast that summarizes books. And this is something that if a parent has understood, she would have gone far on this journey. You see, you know your child. So this is time for for that kind of child now. I expect that parents will channel her towards being in a book club where they share stories right there. At this stage, for that kind of child that is so voracious when it comes to reading, that are reading, a passion for reading. At this stage, she should have written a lot of books. But parents, because they don't understand this, they limit the children. So you know your child, support their journey. If you see that this child is a good footballer, please take them to football club. You see this child is a story writer, please take them to book clubs. Please sponsor their next book journey. You see, this child is someone who likes painting and facial beauty, fashion. Please support their dream and let them start building entrepreneurship around it. This is the best time. And when they are busy, it is so difficult for pressure to have so much influence on them. Now, for children between 18 to 24, because of time, ask purpose driven questions like, what problems do you want to solve? Let them try, fail, and build strength and encourage integrity and consistency. I will end this session today by telling you that the child is not just a vase to be filled, he is a flame to be lit. So if you know this as a teacher and as a parent, you know that he doesn't just want to be filled. He is a personality himself and he wants to be lit. He wants to shine. You have the power to kill the fire or to to fan the flame. It's in your hand as the adults in their world, as the stakeholder in their lives, right? So when you understand this phase, you stop labeling them and you start decoding them. You are not raising a child. You are not just raising children. You are not just teaching children. You are helping a soul to become itself. Now, very soon I'm going to be talking about what I call a child as a spiritual embryo, so that you can understand this more. So I don't want you to miss any of the sessions as we keep talking about these Fridays or Saturdays, depending on the timing. So whether your child at this stage is throwing toys, or your child at this stage is testing logic, or your child at this stage is slamming a door at you, or your child at this stage is asking you questions about the future. See beyond their behavior. Use the play, see beyond their behavior, see the plane of development, and respond accordingly. So if you are a parent, revisit, or an adult, revisit how you see children around you, and make sure to share with somebody today what you have learned. And most importantly, honor their stage and walk the journey with them. Honor their stage and walk the journey with them. And I'm telling you, if you can honor the stage, recognize the stage, you will be having the stress free parenting that you dream of having. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. I'm sure you have learned one or two. And if you have questions, I want you to drop them, and please make sure to tell somebody about this video. And if you have questions, I want you to drop them. I'm ready to answer those questions. Or if the questions pop up later on, I want you to put them down. I will see them and answer the questions. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining tonight. And make sure that next week, Saturday, you tell somebody about this, and tell me also something that you have learned from the live video. God bless you. Do have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining in today. Bye. Greetings to the family. Bye.